Yes, guys! Welcome back to yet again another episode of the Bootcast podcast. I am here in my garage sweating it out, and a man who is not sweating it out because he's in the comfort of his home is my fellow co-host Colby. Colby, man, how are you doing today?
I'm tired, bro. I was
tired?
home with all of my children today by myself,
man.
dude. No help.
Wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Oh, I was drowning. Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say that third one's kind of pushed you over the edge now, hasn't it?
it does, dude. Man, the baby stage. Like for anybody that has a new baby out there, like,
Oh yeah,
it's
those
rough.
rose-tinted glasses of like a cute little baby. They quickly wear off.
Right? Yeah, I'll be safe though. Give the baby till he gets to a year and a half, and then they're pretty set from there.
Yeah, that's where mine's at. My littlest one. All right, man. So I said last week, I kind of hinted that I was like, well, we've kind of gone through all the numbers, and then we're going through it again. And so we needed to change it up. So our good friend Andrew over at Footloose Boots sent me one, and he said that we need to pick iconic jerseys, either to ourselves or to whoever. So Colby, for episode 33, yeah, I'm going to say 33. What is your first iconic jersey pick?
Oh man, iconic jersey pick.
Yeah, you got to put them on screen. You got to use your editing wizardry.
I wish I could remember which one this. It's either 07 or 08. Liverpool had a black and gold Adidas jersey with like the classic like Carlsberg cross, and like that Torres dude. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
I never got that jersey, but that was like my favorite one. I saw.
Is that the one with the gold shorts?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my absolute favorites, like that one, and then the gray one's good.
Just save it.
Okay. Yeah.
Save your jerseys because this is gonna be way easier.
Yeah.
For
I'll put
me,
it on the screen though.
That's a good one. Mine is gonna be like 2008, 09 United. You know, with like the all solid red AIG. It's classic with the white pinstripes down the back. I think that's arguably everybody's favorite United jersey like ever.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. And you want that one in long sleeve too, right?
I have that one in a long sleeve. Yeah.
Nice.
And that's like, you know, the Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez era. You know, Rio was there. Burba started coming. Who else was there? Scholes, Giggs. I think Vidic was still there. Gary Neville was still there. Evra was there. It's just iconic. It's an iconic jersey. I love that jersey. So, yeah, that's my pick. I think it's 08-09 when they beat Chelsea. The Ronaldo miss and the John Terry slip. It's a good one.
Poor guy. Yeah. Thanks, Footloose. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
dude.
that's a good one. So we're gonna try that. And if you have a favorite jersey and you want to let us know, send it down in the comments below. All right, so let's get into this. Colby, per usual, I'm here in my garage, so I'm already sweating. I want you to lead this off, man. What do you want to talk about first today?
All right. Let me look at our topics list for today. All right. Adidas released the Stellar Icon Pack for the Olympics. So we got a new colorway in the F50 as well as the Predator. I'm not sure if they made a Copa in this variation. The only ones I've seen are those two.
I don't think so. I've only seen the Pred, and it's interesting too because the pictures that I've seen have been the women's fit F50, which has the sock, and then the laceless Pred. I haven't seen too many pictures of the lace or the regular F50.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of those. I've seen the I've seen the laced F50. But, I've only seen like lace. Oh, here's some pics. I just pulled it up. There's some with the laces on the Pred.
Is this pack for men and women? Just their Olympics pack?
I assume so. I mean, because that's the whole idea of having the F50 with like the knit, right? Is that's the women's version. I mean, I don't know. We're in 2024, and so putting like pink and yellow on boots now doesn't necessarily put it into the female category, right?
Yeah.
And the F50s I think look pretty good. Sole plate's crazy on those.
The sole plate I think is the dopest part of that whole pack is that F50 sole plate.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like we're in this era of like really cool sole plates that just like wear off after two uses, but the chrome finishes and all that. So
I think in a way it's kind of like cool to me because it makes me think of like old knights and stuff, you know, like the more beaten up their armor was, the more they had like gone into battle, and like the shinier it was, they're probably like royalty and didn't do anything. So I think that's kind of how I look at it. It's like the more beat up your like chrome boot is and it's chipping away, it's like I wear these, I use them, they are my tools.
Yeah, when I play some of these fields in Texas, dude, where like you literally have like rocks poking out.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like I sold a pair of boots just this week, and I was like cleaning them up and everything, and not even on the where the studs are, but like up into the sole plate, like I had scratches. I was like, what the heck? And I'm like, I was probably standing on a rock. That's probably yeah.
Or some turf. That turf gets so hot.
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if it scratched it up. But I will say, like on the end of the resale thing or selling boots, those chrome sole plates that wear off make the boot seem like it's in so much worse condition than it really is.
Yes,
I will agree on that. When you see that like nice chrome, like kind of ripping apart, and it's just like the bare plastic under, yeah, I'm like, ooh, those. Those
I
don't
did.
look good.
You remember the New Balance released their laceless Tekela in that white version last year, maybe 2 years ago. It was like instant. It was like the fastest wear on any. So I was like, what the heck?
That's how my laceless Nemesis Plus was, the very last Nemesis. I had like the one that was split like white and silver and black and gold, and the sole plate was dope. It was split silver to gold, but within like one wear. Like it's just like this shitty blank plastic in between.
Yeah, I guess my thoughts on it are like it's so cool. It's so cool, but it literally lasts a second. I think it's a marketing thing, to be honest with you, because I mean it's not functional in any way. It's just how you're going to market the boots. Like that's a huge selling point of this pack. So, stellar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so speaking of, because I saw more pictures, Nike dropped that Safari pack for the Olympics and their whole focus is that sole plate. Like all those sole plates have that chrome Safari print.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks almost like
look cool.
The top of a cane or something. Like where they put that like sheen over it. It looks like really dope. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say the more pictures I've seen, I think out of all the sole plates with that pattern, I think the Tiempo is the best looking just sole plate.
Thank you.
Sole plate.
Thank you.
Just because it doesn't have any of the Oh my god, I don't understand what is Nike's obsession with Volt, but they got to put it on everything.
Yeah, they got to put it on like the front part of that. Yeah,
and they
the
did
GX2.
It with the GX2 on the Cyclone 360, and then the Vapor. It's like the whole Air Zoom unit, and I'm like, why?
Well, here's some. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second, because for podcast after podcast after podcast, we're like, God, Nike and their copy paste, and they're gonna put all silver on the Rising Gem, and they're gonna put pink on the Mad Brilliance or whatever it is. And like now with this electric pack, they finally kind of varied it up where the Tiempo looks different than the GX2, looks different than the Vapor. So I have to give them credit there, and the way they've used these patterns is pretty cool. Although I will say, because I finally made a video. I made a video on my channel. You can go watch it if you haven't already. But of the kind of the origin of the Safari packs, going back to like '87 with the boot that Tinker Hatfield made. But those boots that were made specifically for Ronaldo, I think are I just enjoy that pattern a lot more, where it's kind of black and white all over with the spots, and then you have like that nice orange swoosh. So this is it's just different in general.
Yeah, they've kind of used that for him. Like, do you remember? So that's the Superfly 2. That was his first colorway. And then I think it was on the Superfly. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my gens. I think it was the Superfly 6 where they did. I think was it Kim Jones where he had like the orange Mercurials with the Safari print like on the heel. They've done that for him on that too, and it just, unless it's the white and black, it always looks off to me.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Yeah, they've done it a couple of times for him. Like obviously they did the Superfly 7s with it, which is just a remake of the Superfly 2.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't like this. I don't like
the Kim
this
Jones.
Yeah,
the all orange one. Yeah, that one wasn't my favorite.
There's something about that black and white. And I remember when they were advertising for it back in 2010, 2011, they had made a silhouette type 3D like rendering of Ronaldo's face. It was like his face, and it was like all black and white. I don't know if you remember that. I couldn't find that for my video.
No, I don't remember that.
That was a really cool ad. I remember that.
Yeah, all I remember hearing the story was he saw like an old pair of Jordans, which I guess the pattern was used for, and it was kind of discontinued. And he was like, "Oh, I like that. I want that." And they were like, "Oh, like okay, nobody normally uses this, so cool. Like we'll do it." And then the second colorway he had was the black on black one, which I thought equally looked as good.
Yeah, it's so weird to me now that like because like going back to think that was okay. So 2010. I'm gonna do a little math here because you're the Ronaldo fan. I think he was born in '85, so he was 25 years old before he got his very first like signature boot.
Yeah,
that's kind of old to get your first. I mean, because like
your prime.
Well, it's your prime, and I'm sure back then it wasn't weird, but now New Balance is giving like Harvey Elliott and Tim Weah and like Endrick, and we'll get into that later. But like his first signature pair of boots at like 17 or something. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Ronaldo too is you have to think like before he was wearing colorways that nobody else was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, who else was wearing Mercurials? Henry, R9 was still wearing Mercurials.
Yeah.
So when you have players like that, who R9 was probably getting all the signature colorways up to that point, because I think Ronaldo got those Superfly 2s when he went to Madrid.
Yeah.
2010. So it might have been his second season. But he had worn like the pine greens independently. I think he had a pair of red with a gold swoosh vapors that nobody else had. So he had a couple. That
right. They just didn't necessarily call them like these are signature boots for
or
you.
People got them way later. But like, you know, that's like the Dream Speed. The Dream Speed was kind of just the evolution of his colorways, and now it's just become like, whoever's fast.
Yeah, we need to talk about that in a little bit too. But yeah. So it's interesting to like kind of have these like these variations, I guess, because they've never done it on all three silos before. It's always just been the vapor. And honestly, dude, like the more I look at the other patterns, and I feel bad because like I had, you know, I know Andrew and James were talking about this, and Andrew, you know, said that they look like cat vomit. The more I look at the safari boots, the more I actually like them.
Oh no, they're not for me. I don't think they're as bad as I thought. I will say that the more I look at them, I'm reminded of like the 2010 look where they kind of try to make everything look similar to an extent, which I think is cool. And I think they brought that up on the football boot hour. Yep. But it's one of those packs where I'm like, I understand why people like it. I just don't.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for them, they didn't, because I want to get a Vapor in the near future, or Superfly. I don't really care. But I want the AG version, and they didn't make the AG for that pack, so I would have to get the blue ones. So.
Just get the FG, bro.
No,
below that knee, bro.
Hell no.
Blow it up. put the vapors on and just watch your knee literally like explode right there.
Well, hey, since we're on this topic, we're gonna circle back to Adidas, but since we're on this topic, let's go ahead and talk about speaking of Mercurial Dream Speed. Right, it's been leaked. We got an official colorway for this generation of the Mercurial. What are your thoughts on the aesthetics of this, and on the inside, on the insole of the boot has been labeled for CR7?
Yeah, I think it's okay. Oh, I'm gonna say this, but like, let me finish the whole statement. I think it's a more toned down / boring colorway for the Dream Speed specifically, but I think that makes it better in a way. Like a lot of the Dream Speeds are really loud and out there, and that's why I think that a lot of people tend to not like them.
Yeah, that the most recent one, the 8, the green one, was one. You could tell. I mean, yeah.
I think the only ones I've liked have been the 3, which was the white with like the little tire tracks all over it.
Yep, graphic.
I liked that one. The one after that, which was like the space pod, and it like kind of was like the different heat. You remember that one?
I think
it's like,
so.
It like starts out with like a white toe, and then it goes into yellow, and then like a pinkish red, and then anyways, I think that's the 4. I like that one.
I like the 7, the orangish red kind of with the white swoosh. That one was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the X and O one. That one's okay. What's the ones before that? Why am I drawing a blank?
Oh, I feel like they took a break in between.
What's
the 6 and 7, and then they were close to the 7 and 8.
The weird wave pattern one. That's like supposed to be like calming. It was like the light blue with the purple and the green. That was I think only really Ronaldo wore that one, but I remember it at Man U.
Ooh, yeah. Not
that
a fan.
That one's okay.
Yeah,
but it's like the one I think is ugly. The 2 I thought was super ugly. 3 is good. 4 is good. 5 was. Wait, which one was 5?
I
remember 3, 4. Or maybe that one was 5.
Oh, 5 is the cool one. 5 is the it's like how do I describe this? It's a kind of the swoosh going in the front, and then it's like purple, green, white. That one actually looks pretty cool.
Is that the wave pattern one that I'm thinking of? Is that the 5? What's the 6?
The 6 is...
I'm trying not to look it up. I'm trying to
the
remember.
The 6 is like purple pink with a black swoosh, and it has like I remember the advertising for this.
This one is the bad one. Yep. Yeah, I do remember that.
Worst looking one I've seen.
Yeah, that's the one I didn't like either. Yeah, that's the cherry blossom looking one.
Dude, like also curse you because I'm gonna have to put pics up for like all this whole segment.
Yeah, sorry.
Be like, this is the 5.
So let's rate this. Okay, so for me, it's 1's trash, 2's trash, 3 is amazing, 4 is amazing, 5 is okay, 6 is terrible, 7 is okay, 8 is okay-ish, and then this new one is like good.
Yeah, so that's, and to your point, because all of the old ones have been in your face and kind of crazy, this toned down version I actually really like. And I actually like how they I don't know if this is a one-off or if it's too soon to switch what the aesthetic of the upper is going to look like on the Vapor, in my opinion. I know that these,
like the graphic?
because on this, the graphic on this is it's 2 swooshes on either side, 2 small swooshes instead of like the one big swoosh going over the forefoot.
Yep.
So, and
they've done that a couple times.
I don't know if they'll switch the aesthetic until like next year though, because they usually do it about a year out when they kind of switch up what it's gonna look like.
Well, the Dream Speed's always like the weird one though. Yeah, is what I'm saying. Because like the 3 and the 4 both had the double little swoosh.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the 5 and then the 6 changed it. Yeah. So sometimes the Dream Speed's its own beast when it comes to the graphic.
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty happy with this one. I think it's too long to wait though. I think it's not going to be here until November. So I definitely want to try one before then.
Oh yeah.
I'm a fan. Do you think that because on the most recent Dream Speed, it might have been the 7 and the 8. Haven't necessarily been associated with Ronaldo. They kind of took out the specifications portion of it.
Yeah, on both of them. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just their way of phasing them out, you know? Like, time catches up with everybody. And he didn't switch into the Dream Speed 8 until kind of late. Because he was wearing the Blast Pack for a long time in Saudi, like, way past what he was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And then he switched to the Dream Speed, and I think that's when he started cutting the collar.
Yeah, he got the scissors out. He's getting a little mad.
Because he never wore the 7, which is weird. Because that's like such an iconic number with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and anything's gonna spark a rumor because I saw the dude was playing like some kind of like pickleball looking thing. He was wearing like Asics shoes, and they're like, oh, Ronaldo's wearing Asics shoes to play pickleball.
Oh
like what? Oh, is there a feud with Nike? And I'm like, okay, look. He's probably just out, not even thinking about it. Like, is he running? Is he training? Is he on a football pitch? Like, no. He's playing a different sport entirely.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's not like Jordan only wore Jordans.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he probably had a lot of Nike golf shoes, but that'd be weird.
Okay, so since we're talking about signature colorways, and we're about to come up to it. Okay, so how do you feel that Nike has handled this whole kind of like passing of the torch from like Ronaldo being the poster boy, not only for Nike, but the Mercurial especially. So like kind of handing it down to Mbappe, a couple other players.
Yeah, Rashford got his last year.
Yeah, how do you feel about this kind of passing of the torch that's gone on?
Nike's, okay, let's contrast 2 companies here because Nike's kind of weird with it because Nike kind of has their favorites. They've got like Ronaldo's obviously been like their biggest cash cow for a very long time, and now it's Mbappe. But then they kind of sprinkle Marcus Rashford here, a Jadon Sancho here. Whereas if you look at a company like New Balance, like they're kind of like, oh hey, Harvey Elliott, like thanks for joining, Raheem Sterling, Saka, and it's not like I don't think that there's one player for New Balance that's like more valuable than everybody else. And for Nike, that's not necessarily the case, right? So they almost have to play it really carefully. And so as we have seen from Ronaldo, it's been, I think, for him difficult to take a step back, as we kind of saw with the most recent Euros. So they still have to tiptoe around this guy. And so that until he officially steps out of the game entirely, I think they're going to have a hard time with this process.
Do you think that the Dream Speed would sell better or worse than it does now if they did include all the CR7 branding?
I think it would be better. Like when I saw these images initially and I saw the CR7 inside, it made it more special to me. And I think the 7 and the 8 almost didn't hit as hard because they weren't associated with Ronaldo. Regardless of how he performs on the pitch or not, it's still iconic. It's still like are you going to sell a pair of Jordans and not associate it with Jordan? That guy doesn't play anymore. You know, like keep us. I would almost. It would be cool if they kept this line as like a quote unquote Jordan line for Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So the Dream Speed always has a CR7 in there, like forever.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like, you know how they do like the Jordan kits? I think it would be cool if they did like a CR7 essentially like specification or colorway every Mercurial. Just one, but every Mercurial.
They should. You know how Ronaldo has his iconic stance before he takes a free kick, where his legs are separated and he takes the deep breath out. Like that would be cool if they got that almost into a silhouette and put it inside of the boot, like on the insole.
I want to say, I think there was one boot that has that, one of his older ones, but now it's the Sue logo, and it's been the Sue logo since I think the 327K gold Superflies, those and the Quinteros ones. I think that's when they switched it to the Sue logo. But he does have one pair that has that free kick, like almost like, you know, like Beckham has that logo, like the old Beckham logo where it's like him winding up. Yeah, I think that would be cool if they did.
Yeah, exactly.
Some sort of Ronaldo one.
I don't know. They should keep that going. Like, let's stay on that topic. Stay on that David Beckham topic because we're also we're talking about like iconic players, iconic boots. David Beckham's been highly regarded in the Predatorverse, obviously. Adidas, after most recently releasing these Japan blues and these kind of white colorway of their Mania remakes, have officially announced that they're going to release a red Mania remake.
Yeah, and they also have the OG Mania remake coming out like next month.
Right, that's what, black and red, kind of like
the black,
classic
white, and
style.
red. Yeah, the OG colorway.
Right, and so with those, like, would Adidas be smart to kind of, like you said, kind of like that old David Beckham logo?
It's hard because, like, I don't think that now at this point Adidas really does the David Beckham logo, because that was bigger on like later boots. I don't think he had that logo yet for the Mania. I think it was the first one was the Pulse.
Okay.
And then, because I think that's when he got his first colorway. But it's just like, do I think that they could use it? Yes. But you also have to remember, we're old, me and you. So we remember David Beckham. A lot of people have, I mean, like, they know, obviously a lot of people know who David Beckham is, but they don't really know him as a player. They know him as like this fashion icon and this, you know, just this great hot man. You know, I'm not afraid to say it. He's beautiful.
This owner. Yeah, he's beautiful. He owns a team. He's associated with Messi now and all those guys. But
so it's just like, I think that that's their way that they kind of pivoted from doing the David Beckham logo was they do the David Beckham colorways, which is that white, black, and pink, which is the Miami colorway anyways. So it's been like that for a minute. So I think that, like, yeah, it'd be cool if they do the white, black, and pinks going further, going on, but I don't know how well those are selling because it doesn't seem super loved. Right.
Yeah, so with that, are Adidas just kind of are they cashing out on the whole Mania verse now? I mean, because like at first it was like, oh, this is so cool, we're gonna get this Japan blue, and we thought that was the only one we were gonna get. There was rumors of champagne, but we didn't necessarily know what it was gonna be. Then they had this kind of white out cream colorway come out as well, and now they're announcing 2 more colorways.
Yep.
So
I think they're using they've kind of been doing this where like they've introduced a couple of their different lines, right? We've done Precisions, Pulses, Accelerators, Manias. Am I missing any? Oh, Absolutes. Okay. Okay, so think about how many accelerator colorways we got. Just like boom, boom. Like we couldn't get away from the accelerator. It seemed like, you know what I mean. So now I think it's like they did all the accelerators. They've done a couple of the precisions, and then they did the alteration of the precisions. So now I feel like it's the Mania's turn. The Mania's going to get all these colorways, and then it's going to go away, and then we'll either get more pulses or absolutes. I really think we should get a power swerve. I think that's a grossly underrated Predator, but I think that's kind of how Adidas is going to start doing it. Is I think they might sprinkle in some, but it's going to be like the year of insert remake. So like we've had a year of the accelerator, then it's now we had the year of the absolutes where we got those two. Now it's the year of the Manias.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, so maybe next year we get, because we're probably not going to keep getting we're not going to get power serves if you and Andrew keep bringing it up. Like y'all have to like just stop talking about it for it to actually happen. Yeah,
dude,
y'all are
jinxing so good.
But next year could be the pulses. So we'll see.
The pulses are probably my favorite the absolute's up there. I love the pulse and I love the absolute, but I'm telling you, man, that power swerve, and especially with because I was wrong. Okay, I gotta hold my hands up. I was wrong about the Mania. They ended up being full calf skin leather. They weren't synthetic. You know, I was wrong. All three of them that we know. But I think with that power swerve, if they do those and that David Beckham style, like the plus version is leather, which is what a lot of people had back then, and then they do the 0.1 in a synthetic. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, I think that'll crush it. Because Beck's always had synthetic uppers. Because I think he became a vegan at one point.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And I think I was asking you because we know our friend Trev from our boot group has a pair of the remakes. And I'm always kind of concerned about when you do these kind of limited quantity boots, and it's not like it's going out to the masses for like extensive like wear and tear kind of durability testing. With my experience with the most recent Tony Cruz remake, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna do remakes because you don't know when you buy a limited quantity boot like that for the price you're paying if that thing is gonna hold up. Yeah.
I will say that I understand your hesitation, but as somebody who's a big Pred head and remake wearer, the Preds of old are like hundreds of times better than that Tony Cruz boot. Like I've told you before, I've said it before on the podcast, I've said it to you in person. The 11 Pro 2, when it was an official boot at the time, it was not a good boot. It had horrible durability. It fell apart. It even fell apart back then. That's why nobody wore it. So that's why I think it's still kind of carried over into now. But I think if you got a Mania remake and you're like, okay, I'm going to put it through its paces, I think you would be very pleasantly happy with your purchase. I don't think you'd have buyer's remorse.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great point then.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was one of the that was like one of my biggest hangups with this most recent one, and I spent all my money, so I spent it too early. But
that's okay. You got your F50s. You haven't updated. I know you've worn them a bit.
Yeah, I wore them a bit. I posted in my story. I really love this colorway, Justin. Like, I finally listened to you, got the colorway I wanted. I love the sole plate. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea with how neutral it is, and it might not be as snappy, but it's interesting, and I really do hope that you get a pair of these. With the laces version and like this version of the sole plate, because I know you got the F50 pluses. Because it's a really cool boot in that I feel more nimble with the things that I do. Like with the Predator, I'd say it's just great fit. The sole plate was like really like steady and solid, but with this sole plate, I feel like I can turn, I can move. The shape of it is not bad for somebody who has wide feet. The ankle flaring has no impact on your performance whatsoever. But it just drives me crazy to look at. It looks like a boot where you'd have horrible issues with your ankle moving and your lockdown, but the lockdown's actually spectacular. So as Yuli said, just don't look down. Don't look down.
Yeah, exactly.
Good advice.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I liked the F50 Plus to an extent. I put out a review on my channel, and I did an actual review, and it's fine. But I always said that the biggest problem was that it didn't have laces, and I'm you know me, I'm a laceless lover. Like I like a good old laceless boot, but the way that they did that F50 was just it's kind of like how the Speed Flow was for me, where it focuses a little too much on comfort, so you lose lockdown. So I would be interested to try that boot. I think I'd probably even end up getting the women's though. I got pretty narrow feet.
You do have narrow feet.
So I think the women's would be the way for me to go on that. But I'm glad, man. I'm glad you got a purchase that you're happy with.
Yeah. These are definitely going to. They'll probably come up as my mains here, which is nice. What's really cool, and I don't want to just bang this drum on every podcast. I won't pull them down, but it's cool to have this version of the F50 as an outdoor model, with like this synthetic material and the fiber touch and the sprint web, and then have the Messies for indoor, which are essentially like a synthetic leather pair of boots. It's just It's so cool. It's so cool to kind of have that in different domains.
Since I don't know if I ever asked you, but with I know you hate the burrito tongue. Like I know in general you hate that. Does it on this Messy boot bother you at all? Like do you wish you had the tunnel like the Day Sparks, or are you kind of like
on the turfs? Well, luckily for me on the turfs they actually do it like a tunnle, so there's no burrito in this one. But I'll say this because I'm pulled it out. The way that all the brands are going, where they're going to a synthetic leather version of boots, Adidas already essentially has that.
Yep.
Like this hybrid touch material from freaking 10 years ago is better than Fly Touch Plus. It's better than K Better. I haven't tried the New Balance synthetics, but it's so comfortable, and every time I play in it, it gets more comfortable. I can't say enough good things about it.
It's a great synthetic. It's one of those ones where I think that Adidas can always kind of fall back on. You know what I mean? Like I think Fly Touch Plus is essentially a rebranded Kangalite. And I think that when it comes to a true synthetic leather, I think the Asics ones or Asics, however you want to say it, on the X-Fly series is like creme de la creme. Like I think that's the most leather-like non-leather you can get. But for a more readily available consumer base, that Hybrid Touch 1.0, I'm telling you, man, it was so good. It was so good.
It's wild. It's wild. It's one of those like it's okay. So with leather, you can't really replicate leather. You can get pretty close. Like this is one of the closest boots I felt like. It's just comfortable, dude. It's just one of the most comfortable boots.
Heck yeah.
I've been able to wear.
Oh, that's awesome. I actually ended up switching out my F50 Pluses with Footloose boots, and I got a pair of the Japan Blue Pred Elites. So, I'm really excited about these. But these are orange, bro. We talk about this all the time, but these are 100% orange.
Yeah, you did this little brain trick to me where you pulled those down. You said, what color are these? I said red.
So there's that one, and then that's red. This is red on the Rotera. This is orange on the Japan Blues. Yeah. So I'm excited. I might end up wearing these or making them like, this might be game day boot. This might be like practicing boot / running day boot, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of you running, you are doing a training plan.
Yeah,
Tell us about it.
Oh, God. Okay, so I signed up for Matt Stigler on Instagram. He has like this starting 11 program that I signed up for. It's like a 30 days, and there's a speed one, a conditioning one, and a plyometric one. And I'm doing the conditioning one. And I started today, and it was god-awful. Like, I hate running, bro. I hate running. And you've seen me play indoor. Like I can move for a minute, but like that tank runs out quick. Yeah. You know what I mean? I got a couple in me, and I'm like, all right, I got a break.
Yeah, dude, I respect you watching you play, because you'll put it all out, and if you're about to, like, Justin plays as a defender mostly, and if you're about to get beat, you will straight up like body somebody, use like all of the rest of your force to body somebody, and then Justin is like the nicest. He will take you out, absolutely take you out. Get a free kick for the other team, but then he'll help them. Oh, I'm so sorry, bro. Dude. I didn't mean to do that. Like, dusts them off.
I've always been that way, and I don't know why. But it's so funny because then on the same end, like if somebody starts bodying me and I body him back, and then we start going, like I flip that switch and I'm ready to brawl out. And I don't know what it is about me, but yeah. I've always just, like, you know, if I can't keep up with somebody, I'll just foul them, and I'll take the foul, and, you know, I'm never going to hurt somebody.
Right.
But if you're going to beat me, like, I'm going to make sure you don't beat me.
There you go. There you go.
In my outdoor game one time, you'll laugh at this. In my outdoor game one time, I was playing as a right back, and I kind of wasn't paying attention. This guy came up, stole the ball, and he was quick, Colby. This left wing, he was flying.
Yeah.
And so I went, and I told him right before, I was like, hey, this is going to suck. And I just, like, grabbed him by the jersey, and I just ripped his jersey. And, I mean, I just hear the fabric tearing, and he, like, whips around and looks at me, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I warned you. I warned you this was going to happen. And the ref's like, hey, you know, the ref gives me the card, and everybody's like, hey, good job. Like, you didn't let him pass you. And I'm like, yeah. And I go up to the guy, and I'm like, dude, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't want to rip your jersey, but, like, I just couldn't let you score. And he's like, nah, man, it's not even my shirt. It's all good.
Nah, dude. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's how I'll play. Like, I'll go for a foul. I don't care.
Yeah, I warned you. I warned you this was going to happen.
I did. I said it. Like, as I'm reaching out, I'm like, this is going to suck for you. And I just grabbed his, I mean, and you just hear that like a classic, like, cartoon, just like,
yeah. As a relatively fast player myself, like, people do get very pissed. Very pissed that you run by them, and they'll call you out. Yeah. That's the one thing I learned about being in these over 30s leagues is everybody they'll label the runners. They'll be like, those 3 guys right there, runners. Yeah, they've got the runners. And you gotta do some more work to catch people when you're older.
See, that's my thing. It's just like I've just learned to start becoming an immovable object. So I'll just let you run straight into me, but we'll just go down together.
Yeah, there you go. And you're going to improve that on your strengthening section. You're on your conditioning right now. You're
doing
running
the conditioning, trying to get that going. It's terrible. Like I said, I was doing yard work for like a couple hours, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going to go run. And, you know, it's Texas. It's like 100 degrees.
Dude,
and I was dying. And you have to, like, keep stats, and you just look at your stat. You're like, oh, it's pathetic.
Who's like that big bulky guy on Wolves, and he went to Barcelona?
Adama Traore. That freak of nature.
Yes. You're gonna start looking like him, dude. You're gonna like oil your arms up so nobody can grab onto you.
I'm gonna be like The Rock, but like quick.
Yeah, that guy said too. I saw I don't think this is true, but he says he doesn't like lift weights. His body just like does that. I'm like, no, bro. You most definitely lift.
It's just like Jack always says that he doesn't train his calves, that his calves are just naturally like that. I'm like, that's weird. Nobody's body should be like the Hulk, like Adama, or have calves like that, and you like don't work them out.
Right. Yeah. It's nuts. But yeah, man. Let's go quickly because I had one more thing on our list. Let's go back to boots, and I briefly brought it up. But Endrick was introduced at Real Madrid, and he was wearing a special signature version of white and gold Tekelas. Is this the best looking Tekela colorway for you so far?
Ooh, out of the plus version or about the V4 like as a whole?
Let's say the V4 plus and not plus as a whole.
Is this the best one? Oh, it's up there. It's up there. I really like just the plain white with the black.
Me too.
And then what was the other one I told you I really like that I have been wanting on the V4 Plus? I can't even remember all of them that have come out.
If they put both generations together, they came out with this sick white colorway, and it was either early 20.
What's his name? Tim Weah had a good one too.
Yes, with the queens on the bottom.
Yeah, that was cool. That one was a good looking one. I have to look this up because I can't think of what color. I have a colorway in my head, but it's like I don't know what colorway I'm thinking of.
I think if I like this one. Now. I like the in on this one better on the plus versus the I'll say first gen. But yeah, that all white colorway they came out with in the laceless model with the shiny sole plate was so good.
Oh yeah, the one I sent you. I do remember that one.
Yeah, such a good boot.
Okay, so my favorite is probably still the Gray Day. I love that Gray Day boot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm weird.
Yeah. But as far as signature colorways go, this is definitely up there for signature. Yeah.
Especially for New Balance. The only one I think I like more is I like that first Saka colorway. You remember the red one? Yeah, I liked that one a lot. I did like that boot a lot.
Yeah, the only signature colorway I haven't liked from them. They made one for Raheem Sterling.
The blue seat one.
Something. It was like stone something.
Oh, you're talking about the Stone Island one, the camo green one.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't for him, but I think he wore them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that one. I didn't like the Raheem Sterling one that's like blue with like all the weird.
Oh yeah, that
on
was
it.
cool. That was the buses. That was the buses he would take to training.
Oh,
yeah.
It's so ugly.
Yeah, that was. I thought you know how most stories are kind of like bullshit. Like that one was actually pretty cool.
The story was good. Yeah. But what do you think about these Endrick boots?
I think they're gorgeous. I think they're more limited, obviously, than the most recent pack. I can't remember the name of it. Which kind of sucks. I already bought like my white golds.
I was
boots that I want to wear
with it.
So if I hadn't pulled the trigger on these, I'd probably pull the trigger on the Tekelas. As I blow with the wind.
Yeah, you might change your mind. No, I like them. I have like this really bad feeling that this poor kid is just like getting set up for failure.
Oof,
like he's gonna be like a Freddie Adu.
Robinho.
Yeah, like they're just like gassing this poor kid up. And I'm sure he is great at football, but he's like 16, even like his speech was so sweet. He was like crying. He's like, I did this for my family. Like my parents didn't eat so I could play football and blah, blah, blah. And it's a very sweet story and I'm glad he's made it, but it's just like he's 16 and these people are acting like he's the second coming of Cristiano.
These kids are getting younger and younger. There was what's that one kid's name? Kevin Sullivan, is that his name? Debuted at like 14, and I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. That's like younger than Freddie Adu.
Yeah, dude.
And then some girl debuted at like 14 this week, dude. I was just like, I can't get excited about these things anymore. There's gonna be some 10-year-old next week. Like, just give it up already.
That's going to be the thing. And it's just like, it's scary because like, think about like the abuse that a lot of these footballers do go through. And it's like that moment, like where you become a professional, like it like switches off in people's minds that like, oh, you're still a child. And they like the most horrible sides of people come out. And that's what I worry about for this kid. Like he has one bad game. Like the Real Madrid fans are vicious, bro. I've heard them boo Bale. I've heard them boo Benzema. Like they can be vicious. And so that's what I worry about for this kid.
And everybody talks about like how much mileage is actually on these kids when they start so young. Like think about like Michael Owen and his freaking hamstrings, and Wayne Rooney started really young, and that dude has aged tremendously.
Yes,
I don't think he's 40 yet, and he looks like he's 60. But you have to manage these kids because like your bone density at that age is like nowhere near where it should be like as a full grown adult. So I'm sure like you've got to manage minutes. I mean like Yamal is, what was he like
18,
turned 17 during the Euro, and just got to manage those minutes, man.
Yeah. So no, I hope that the kid does well. I think that New Balance has knocked it out of the park per usual with their signature boot colorway. But I just worry about him as a player, as a professional.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot of talent in that team, and it's very much a sink or swim environment at Madrid, and you don't get a lot of time, even if you are on the younger side of things.
For sure.
So,
is there anything else? Did you want to bring it back to that Adidas boot, or are you okay?
I think I'm okay. I think we got to everything we want to talk about today.
Okay, cool. I know we kind of rushed through and then kind of got tangent on the Nike boots.
That's the journey of this podcast.
Exactly. So, Colby, tell the people where they can find you.
You guys can find me at Kickin' with Colbs on Instagram and on YouTube, where I have already met my one video per year quota. So
let's go.
Boom.
He did it. And you can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Texas Cleat Collector. I also posted a video, I think that same day. It was weird. I don't know who we are.
I know, man.
But we've got more coming for you guys, and we'll have more on the podcast. You can find us at Bootcast Pod on Instagram. And as always, if you like what you've seen, go down to the bottom, click like, click subscribe, comment below what jersey is super iconic to you, and maybe, if you are lucky, we will read it out next week. And with that, we will say goodnight. Take care.
Take care, guys. Thank you.